Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Pixelated Quest and today we'll be playing Sons of Valhalla and figuring out if it's worth playing. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel or leaving a like or a comment. The game is described as a combat base building game in the Viking Age. The point of the game is to build fortresses and lay siege to enemy strongholds, gather warriors and board longbows, and engage in personal combats as you raid and conquer across England. In my solid 20 hours of gameplay, I never boarded a single longboat aside from the cutscenes. This is a single-player game which was released on 5th of April 2024, developed by Pixel Chest and published by Hooded Horse. For me personally, the game is visually very appealing. As you know if you've seen any of my other videos, I love 2D pixel art games and this one seems very promising and I could not wait to get my hands on it. Now, important fact about this game. The game went through a Kickstarter campaign and got funded there with around $30,000. Sons of Valhalla for me somewhat resembles Kingdom 2 Crowns, an equally good side-scrolling game but with a completely different narrative. Now, in order to not spoil the game for anybody watching this video, I will mainly keep to the first chapter of the game, but compare it to all other chapters without revealing any crucial details. Yes, I am talking to you, that one guy who has to comment in all of my videos saying that I should warn people about potential spoilers. So here it is. With about 20 hours already into the game and having completed the game twice before, I am again ready to conquer England and save my wife once again. The game offers 3 modes: Campaign, Rhea's Escape and Horde. I only played the campaign before, so I go with that for this video as well, and difficulty setting normal. The intro of the game is very good, detailed and sets up the whole purpose of the game pretty well, I think. We take up the role of a Viking warrior, Thorald Olafsson, who is on a quest to save his wife who got kidnapped by a rival Jarl. Now, the game starts off strong with a cutscene letting us know that we have died. Yes, the game starts off with you dying. We meet Odin, the Allfather, who needs us for a special quest. After Odin sends us on our way, where, to be honest, we seem pretty unfazed by the fact that we just met Odin, we are dropped back to Earth. Halstein awaits us there, a character who acts like a tutorial guide and gives us the early how to play this game basics. We learn the basic mechanics right away. He will also pop up every now and then during the game. We start off with the basic settlement. First thing we need to do in this game, and this being a vital part of it, is to produce wood and catch fish, which makes up most of the resources that are needed for this game. So I first built a fishing hut, and then the barracks where we produce warriors. Because the basic settlement offers only 2 building spots and a small amount of warriors that we can have, I go and upgrade the meat hall. Each upgrade of the meat hall will allow you additional building spots and add you the total capacity of warriors that you can have. So, each time you capture a new settlement, it is important to upgrade it in order to have the capacity of the total warriors you are allowed raised. With the additional building spots now available, I can build now the woodcutter hut. Then I am visited by my next door neighbors, who came to say hello. From time to time you will have the enemy at your gates. It is important to try to intercept them before they reach your gates, if possible. Once the next door neighbors are dealt with, I go and order an attack on them. The handling of the battle options is pretty smooth and easy in this game. You just need to make sure you are standing in close proximity to your unit, hold down shift and pick the appropriate action. I found that the most efficient way of moving around is by dodging, which is way faster than running. After getting my warriors to the nearest settlement, we engage in combat. Once you destroy the enemy's units, you need to capture the settlement by placing your warriors on the flagpoles of the enemy and waiting it out. Short time after, the settlement becomes yours. In each chapter of the game you will encounter altars. These will drop divine runes, 3 each time. You need to pick one and add it to your belt. Once you do that, the other 2 will get destroyed. Touching on the subject of runes, You have a belt that holds 5 different pockets to contain runes that you find. Each pocket can hold a total of 6 different runes with different perks for you and your warriors, and they are categorized into common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, and divine. Each time you die, you are transported back to Odin and have to give up one of your runes in order to return to Earth. Kinda like a bribe to Odin for his service. Now, with our first settlement captured and the whole battle system and the rune system explained, we understand mostly everything how the game works, the progression system and costs of losing. So we move on to the next settlement in Reach. Now, tower gates can be a hassle to get through if you don't have a catapult or a blacksmith in your band of warrior units. I don't recommend taking on a wooden or a stone gate without them, unlike I'm doing here. It just takes up a lot of time and grind to get them destroyed, so make sure you have either a catapult or a few blacksmiths before attacking them. Once I grind my way through and destroy the enemy's meat hall, we can take this position. And since I learned my lesson, I go and build a blacksmith next. Now, below in the screen you have a map with red icons. Each of them represents the enemy's encampments and settlements. You have to take them all in order to reach the Red Skull. The Red Skull indicates the boss of each chapter. In each of the chapters there will be also 1 or even 2 mini-bosses in the settlements or encampments that you will also need to defeat. This will also unlock Steam achievement, and usually they drop legendary runes. Once we killed all of the enemies, we can enter the boss room. Make sure you stock up on equipment and food before starting a boss fight. The boss fights are mostly all the same. A strong enemy with unique moves where you need to use a lot of dodging moves, arrows, fireballs, and sword slashing from behind. The first boss fight is against Valgard, the Jarl that kidnapped our wife and the reason why we are in England in the first place. After we defeat him, Valgard tells us that he brought Rhea, your wife, to England because Bishop Elmond offered him a hefty amount of silver in return. This is the flow of the game basically. You will go from one location to another trying to find your wife, with each boss fight ending with the information where your wife is next. Essentially, sailing through all locations and completing all 5 chapters will reveal the reason behind why your wife was captured in the first place, how the bosses are connected, and a quite huge surprise at the end with the last boss, which, to be honest, I did not expect. Sons of Valhalla is a decent game with a very decent main story. My main problem with the game is that it feels shallow and a bit forced. Not all the time, but to be fair, there are sections that made me cringe. Sons of Valhalla feels like a game that had everything going for it, up until the point that the developers decided they do not want to go too far out of the established models of side-scrolling tactics-based games, and essentially rely on how other games did it before. Which is a shame, because I feel like the game did a good job of setting up the purpose and the main story, but failed to deliver after the first chapter. And not to mention the well-designed pixel art, which is a bit rough from time to time. And you can see that from afar, but still delivers the immersion you want to have with pixel art styled games. The real issue that stands out for me is the voice acting of almost all characters in the game, which is very weak and does not reflect the vibe of the situation your character is in. For example, listen to this battle cry for attacking.
Attack!
For a Viking themed game, and us being a Viking leading a vicious band of rebels into war, this is a sad excuse for a battle cry if you ask me. No wonder the Shield Maidens in Chapter 3 never followed me with this weak-ass line. At the time of this recording, there are currently 15 players in the game, with a 24-hour peak of 24 concurrent players and with an all-time player peak of 1,666 concurrent players in the game on release date. With an overall review score of 63% out of 512 reviews being positive, making the game rated as mixed on Steam. which I suspect has something to do with the reasons I pointed out before, or the fact that after the first chapter you as the player come to the realization that it's just more of the same in each chapter with just different bosses and moves and just a handful of new twists that has not been seen in chapter 1. Now for some reviews. The smell of burning thatch. Game is short, shallow, repetitive and really boring. Also, narration is pathetic. Waited for too long for this. Was not worth. A decent game to occupy a few hours. Took 5.5 to finish the story. Not enough depth for a replay unfortunately. Considering the price, a little underwhelming but overall enjoyable enough. So, should you play Sons of Valhalla? Do you like setting enemies on fire, giving orders to shield maidens which they will completely ignore, and cowering behind your warriors while shooting arrows from the distance? If so, then Sons of Valhalla will surely live up to your expectations. In the words of one reviewer of Sons of Valhalla, can pet dog while your supplies reload. 8 out of 8. Let me know in the comments section what you think about this game. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing to my channel and leaving a like or a comment. This would help me make more such videos and grow my channel. Have a wonderful day!